In accordance with tradition at Southern Virginia University, we will begin with a word of prayer, which will be offered by Josh Monson, our Assistant Athletic Director.
Our dear kind Father in heaven, we are so very grateful for this basketball Saturday. We're grateful for these two teams. We're grateful for Methodist being here, that they can travel safely. We are grateful for their players and for the coaching staff. We ask you to bless them, and we're grateful for the talents and traits that they possess and the effort that they put in. Father, we're also grateful for our Knights and for our basketball team, and grateful for their talents and all the work that they put in and our coaching staff. We ask that we may have a good game and that we may play fair and that we may be able to travel safely after this game. We're grateful for the officials. Ask you to bless them, and we are so grateful for sports and for the ability we have to demonstrate our talents that Thou hast given us, and we give you the glory, and we're grateful for all the many blessings. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Now, if you'll all please rise and face the flag as the Southern Virginia Penn Band plays our nation's national anthem. And now for our starting lineups. First for the Monarchs of Methodist. At forward, a freshman, number 3, TJ East. At guard, a junior, number 10, Montez.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Knight Arena in beautiful Buena Vista, Virginia, the site of today's NCAA Division III men's basketball matchup. between the Monarchs of Methodist University and your Southern Virginia University Knights. I'm Dawson Weidrich, and I'm joined once again by my good friend Colby Kemp for another USA South Conference matchup here at the barn. And Colby, you and I were talking before this game that if you were to look at the headline of this matchup, just look at the win-loss records in general, Southern Virginia standing at 9-8, and you have the Monarchs of Methodist University coming in at 0-16. You would easily just write it off, right? Say, oh, should be an easy win, put in the win column already. But much like there always is, there's more to the story here today.
Oh, absolutely. Even though we're looking at an 0-16 Monarchs team, just this past week they took the number one in the conference, or in the USA South, to overtime. And ultimately, they lost that game, obviously, but that shows that they do have the ability to take teams that are talented to the wire and even into overtime.
Absolutely. We got to talk to Coach Adam Wardenberg before the game, and one of the first things he told us when we asked him just for a couple of things that they can expect to see is that they're better than their record shows. They are a lot better. They have a lot of quality players on their team, from TJ East. They have a lot of great scorers, including Montel Moore, Blake Lewis, Clayton Coe. They have a lot of great players on their roster that can really do some damage and can make things frustrating for you. You mentioned going against William Peace. They matched up against them again recently and only lost by 6 points to the number one team in the conference. So again, this is a team that is very capable of playing. And much like Coach Wardenberg said, they are much better than their record shows. And some goals that Coach Wardenberg had are related to the Monarchs' strengths. One thing that Coach Wardenberg told us is that the Monarchs get 25% of their points off of turnovers. They force a turnover, get a steal, and then able to capitalize on it right away. So one of Coach Wardenberg's goals for Southern Virginia is to have less than 10 turnovers, lessen the opportunities that they can capitalize on those mistakes. And we know, Colby, that the past couple weeks, turnovers have been kind of a struggle for Southern Virginia.
Not just a couple of weeks, but really all season. They have gone through stretches, unfortunately, where they get sloppy, they turn the ball over, and so to make a goal of less than 10 turnovers a game, that's a high bar, but it's going to be necessary to keep the ball away from Methodist and providing them extra possessions.
There's the tip-off, and the Knights win possession. Here's Sean Kennedy, who's had to really work the past couple weeks to get back to the scoring groove that he started off the season with. Baker kicks it out to Kennedy, kicks out to Robertson. Knights doing a good job moving the ball around this first offensive possession. Outside shot for Connolly, no good. That time rebounded by number 10. That is Montel Moore, the junior from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Goes with a shot off the glass and in. So Methodist University strikes first. They're called a foul on the floor, I believe, during the pass. And Colby, we've both been around sports for a long time. When you have a team that is struggling to get wins throughout the year, right, the hunger for that first win grows stronger and stronger, so it makes it to where you're a more difficult opponent, right? You could easily say, oh, if you start the season 0-16, it'll make you more susceptible to losing, you'll start to give up, but no, it's actually quite the opposite, as Robertson knocks down that three for the Knights.
And sometimes it can go either way. You mentioned sometimes teams just kind of give up, but it's obvious with the results that Methodist have seen the last couple of weeks, they're not giving up. And with the energy that they're bringing here, even in just the first minute, shows they're here. They want their first win to come today.
Here's the three-pointer from the outside, off front of the rim, no good. That was from TJ East, who's averaging 11.3 points per game this year. Baker trying to advance up the floor to Kennedy, sails out of bounds. And Robertson just knocked down that three just a few moments ago. And in their loss against Mary Baldwin, Southern Virginia's loss against Mary Baldwin this past week, they struggled significantly from behind the three-point line, and that caused them to lose that game 66-60 to the Fighting Squirrels. Here's Robertson driving the lane up the right hand, gets fouled, no good, but he'll go to the line and shoot two.
Monarchs foul number 10, Montel Moore, his first at the line shooting two, Jamarcus Robertson.
Robertson so far this year averaging 6.3 points per game. And from the free throw line, he's been at 50%, made 11 of 22.
And this was the third key that Coach Wardenberg gave to us, was that the Knights want to make more free throws in this game than what Methodist attempts. So first 2 attempts of the game here, and Jamarcus misses the first one.
Second shot up and good. And again, a lot of it just has to do with playing smart, drawing the foul against the free throw line. Also make sure you stay aggressive as the Monarchs are trying to break the full court pressure here from the Knights. Robertson trying to go for the steal, gets burned. That's Brinson going in for the layup, and Brinson had a fantastic game against William Peace this past week, scoring 20 points, made 2 3-pointers, played a total of 32 minutes in that game, as that ball will stay with the Knights. A substitution for Southern Virginia in number 11, Brian Tapia. Tapia so far this year averaging 39% from the three-point line, a very consistent outside shooter, and just a natural scorer from the words of Coach Wardenberg. Knights take a while to inbound it. Jumper, no good, but fouled on the shot is Kai Olson. And that foul is called on number 10, Montel Moore.
At the line, shooting 2, Malachi Olson.
He also mentioned how, Sean Kennedy struggled maybe the last couple of weeks. There in December, he was named the Rookie of the Week, the Player of the Week, averaged 25 points that week, and then started conference play and obviously became the focus of the defense of every team the Knights have been playing, and he struggled a little bit to find some rhythm ever since that. It'd be good to see him assert himself a little bit here in this first half and get back on track.
That second free throw from Olson, no good. And you're absolutely right, Kennedy, a very skilled player, both offensively, defensively, gets a lot of rebounds. That's over and back on the Monarchs. But you pointed out how when conference play started, a lot of these teams started to key on Kennedy. And the question is, as a young player as Kennedy is, he's a freshman here at Southern Virginia. How do you adjust that as the season goes along, right? Teams throw different defensive looks at you. What are some things that you change up in your game to make it where you're still effective for your team? Trying to insert into the post, knocked out of bounds that time by TJ East. Tapia checking in for Robertson once again. Connolly has at the post, no good, off the glass, rebounded that time by Clayton Coe. The Knights really like that look when they're able to get a successful screen to get someone open. Down in the post, that time just not successful. The jump shot, no good, rebounded by Kennedy. Kennedy driving in, kicking out to Tapia. We're seeing some fantastic on-ball defense from both squads today. Olson drives in, good pump fake, too strong, no good. Rebounded once again by Clayton Coe.
It's a good take there by Kai, just couldn't quite finish.
Here's the three from Coe. Off the rim, no good, rebounded by Tapia. Kennedy, good body fake. Up the right hand, strong. Off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Baker. Up the left hand, and one.
And there's that third key that we haven't quite gotten to yet, but we'll get to it right now. The offensive rebounds.
Monarchs foul number 40, Clayton
Coach Wardenberg wants 15 offensive rebounds today. The Knights have a height advantage, and not only that, they have the leading rebounder in the conference in Koa Baker as he gets his, I believe that's his first offensive rebound of the game and the finish.
It's one of the more stereotypical plays you see made from Cole Baker throughout the year. He's very good at getting a body on somebody and going up to get a board and going up back strong with a putback. And also drawing the foul and shooting with enough strength to make it. Here's the free throw. Violation there on Karchner as he was trying to lean in and get good positioning. Again, getting to the free throw line, just can't make small mistakes like that. Doing a good job of breaking that press was Darian Hecklin, who was checked in. And Southern Virginia had some substitutions as well, and Dane Ibsen and Tyler Karchner. Good press on the baseline. As a jump ball. Good hands play from Karchner, but it'll stay with the Monarchs. Immediate timeout here as the score stands 7-4 in favor of the Knights. And you mentioned Tyler Karchner checking in. He actually had a phenomenal game against Mary Baldwin this past week. He was the leader in scoring, came in, got a lot of defensive boards, and really was one of those that stepped up to try to keep things close with Mary Baldwin, even though they were unable to get the victory, losing that one by 6. I'm very excited to see what he's able to provide for the team here today, and right now, good defensive hands to cause that jump ball. Yeah,
he's played some very solid minutes all year long. Minutes have been maybe a little inconsistent from game to game, but when he comes in, he's going to be active, he's going to crash the boards, he's going to take up space there in the key and make it more difficult for the opposing team to run their sets.
He absolutely does. And right now, scoring leaders as the score is very low scoring right now, 7-4, again in favor of the Knights. Jamarcus Robertson leading the way for the Knights with 4 points, followed by Koa Baker with 2, and then also Malachi Olson with 1, with the 1 free throw made after the foul. Then for Methodist University, 2 players who have scored buckets so far, and Montel Moore, as well as Braun Brinson, both 2 points apiece. And again, both defenses I mentioned before, playing very tight defense, a lot of hustling happening here, a lot of good rotations, a lot of good shifts and changes on screens. So it's something you love to see as a defensive-minded coach, but of course, for the opposing coach, when your team's on offense, you want to get things rolling, and neither team really able to get much of a rhythm quite yet.
Not quite. I think part of that is the amount of defensive pressure that we're seeing from both teams. Both teams really trying to play good, solid half-court defense.
Here's the corner 3. Rattles out, no good. Rebounded by Baker. And taken away by Methodist. Up the right hand with the foul. That is TJ East. And that's one thing we talked about at the beginning of this game. A lot of Methodist University's points come off of turnovers. So forcing turnovers, forcing bad passes, getting steals, and immediately capitalize on exactly what TJ East just did. And they called that foul on Jamarcus Robertson. That is his first of the game. Free throw here from East is off the front of the rim, no good. Initially rebounded by J-Mac, and then knocked out of bounds by Brinson. So Knights ball. Again, you see some full court pressure here from the Monarchs. Now setting up in a half-court offense. Ibsen in the corner for 3. That's good. Probably one of the cleaner three-point shots you'll ever see.
A long, high, arcing shot. Nothing but the bottom of the net there for Dane, knocking down the first one of the game.
He is shooting 48.8% from the three-point line this year, and that shot was a perfect example of just the capability that he has to knock it down from deep. Here's a three-pointer for the Monarchs. That time rebounded by the Monarchs. It was a long rebound. Trying to pass to the inside was Clayton Coe, but it sails out of bounds. Goes back to the Knights.
Interesting that Methodist drops back now this time already getting out of that full court defense. It seemed to cause the Knights some problems last possession.
It really did. It was only the good passing from Robertson that was able to make things happen. Eventually rebounded that time by Coe. Clayton Coe now has 3 rebounds on the game. Jump shot from Coe is good.
Coe for 2.
Working a little one-on-one magic and brings the Monarchs back within 2. Robertson drives the lane. It's taken away. Eventually recovered by TJ East. Good pump fake up. Easy layup for Braun Brinson.
Braun Brinson.
You've seen the Knights pick up the dribble quite early in a lot of their offensive possessions. It makes it very difficult, especially against a steal-happy team that the Monarchs are.
And a long ways from the basket, nonetheless. Makes it even more difficult.
Ibsen's second three, no good. Rebounded by Karchner. He puts it on the floor, goes up strong. No good rebound at that time by Ibsen. Kicks it out to Kennedy for three. Off the side of the rim, no good. That time rebounded by Coe. Some good offensive rebounding effort there for the Knights. Just not able to capitalize from the outside. So tied at 10, the Monarchs have a chance to take the lead. They call a foul on the baseline on Karchner. Put his body into him a little bit on the drive. Some more substitutions for Southern Virginia. You got Cole Baker, Abe Connolly, and Kai Olson. And for the Monarchs, you have number 32, Blake Lewis, and number 10, Montel Moore. Down in the corner, got a trap. Knocked out of bounds off the Knights once again. Here's a deep three, off the front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by East. Mid-range jumper, no good. Rebounded that time by Baker. Strong rebound from Baker as he was surrounded by two Monarchs who were trying to rip it away from him. Baker drives the lane, up the left hand and in. Another great Cole Baker sequence, getting the strong rebound, driving the lane, strong shot up and in.
And that time you see Cole Baker refuse to pick his dribble up there 30 feet, force the action, drive into the paint, and make them either collapse or come to him.
Phenomenal shot there that time from Darian Hicklin. Olsen was trying to take a charge in the paint, but Hicklin able to jump around him and able to get the layup up and in.
Yeah, he showed some good body control there.
Trying to get in the paint to Olsen. Kennedy driving baseline with a strong up. Gets the foul. He'll go to the line and shoot two. Foul's called on number 10, Montel Moore. He's already in foul trouble. And that's another issue you run into when you have plays like that where either Kennedy or Baker drive the lane. You're going to almost inevitably draw fouls and cause some of your key players to get into foul trouble, as it's now tied 12-12.
And that's a good possession there for Sean Kennedy. Just like Koa Baker last possession, driving the paint, getting a layup. Sean Kennedy rather, he's good at driving into the paint, getting those short, 8-footer, 10-foot floaters, and it's good to see him assert himself a little bit there and see if he can't get that offensive game going.
Absolutely, and the problem for the Monarchs right now is that Montel Moore, the one who's now in foul trouble with 3 fouls, he is one of the 2 players on this Monarchs roster averaging double digits in scoring. So if they can't utilize him more often in this game, they're going to really have to switch things up offensively, of course. With that, they do have other people they can rely on, including Blake Lewis, as well as Clayton Coe. Players who have already made sort of an impact in this game, especially Clayton Coe with his rebounding and tough shots in the paint. But again, it forces you to switch up your game a little bit. And if you're the Knights, you know you can attack a certain player because they're going to be less intense or they're going to be less aggressive defensively.
Absolutely. And now we'll get Sean Kennedy going to the line. He'll have 2, a couple free throws, see if he can't get going here.
And Kennedy on the year has shot 86.7% from the free throw line, has been very consistent all year long. First free throw is up. And rattles in good.
Checking in for the Monarchs, number 12, Braun Brinson.
And so far, And we talked about one of Coach Wardenberg's goals for the game is to make more free throws than they have taken. They're doing that right now. They're now 3 of 6 from the line, now 4 of 7 from the line, whereas the Monarchs have only shot 1 free throw.
Off to a good start there, as also with the offensive rebounds.
Olsen gets his hands on it, and he makes a basket in an alternate way than people would expect. There's a trash can here on the side that the basketball landed into. Good defensive effort from Olsen, even though it stays with the Monarchs. We had another substitution during the timeout for the Knights in number 12. That is Sam Jex, the sophomore from Layton, Utah. Jex is another one of those players that's very consistent from behind the three-point line. Got good, quick feet defensively. Up and in that time for Blake Lewis. Again, one of those players that we mentioned needed to step up and place, of course, Montel Moore, who's in foul trouble. Conley driving in. Knocked out of Olsen's hands. And blocked against the backboard by Olsen. What a block flying in there. Making sure that the Monarchs could not capitalize. Olsen, fadeaway jumper off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Connolly. Pass to Baker. Strong shot up and in. Another great sequence for the Knights. One of the nastiest blocks we've seen in Knight Arena so far this year. Here's the 3. Up, no good. Rebounded by Baker.
That block rivals one Abe Connolly had against NC Wesleyan in that game that came back and made close.
And a takeaway that time by Braun Brinson, even though there's a lot of contact. I believe he had even an arm kind of wrapped around Olsen. A lot of people in the stands wanting that call.
I think on the football field, we would have had a flag for pass interference on that one.
I think you're probably right on that one. Monarchs trying to tie it back up or take the lead with a 3. And a shot up, no good. Rebounded by Baker once again. He now has 7 rebounds in the game. Trying to go with a shot. They're going to call a charge on Baker. That was number 11, Darian Hicklin, standing his ground and taking the charge. That's Baker's first foul. Got some substitutions for the Monarchs. Got number 33, Connor Raines, and number 40, Clayton Coe. Raines taking the floor for the first time today, the freshman from Greer, South Carolina. Now, I mentioned Sam Jex being substituted in for Southern Virginia. I believe that's in a way to sort of match up with the more smaller bodies on the floor from Methodist. They don't really have a big guy out there. And that jump shot rattles out no good. Another rebound for Baker. And so again, to combat that, they're relying less on their bigger, taller players like, say, Dane Ibsen or Tyler Karcher, and putting in other smaller, quicker defenders like Sam Jex. The spin, pump fake, up the right hand, no good for Kennedy, but a great move. Driving in, jump stop. Nice floater in the paint that time from Jared Merchant. That's Merchant's first points of the game. Great pass to Conley on the inside, off the backboard and in. Great look that time from Jex.
Jex, a good three-point shooter, made that ball fake and that opened Connolly right up there.
Call a foul here on the drive. Those say it was against Kai Olsen. They had number 32, Blake Lewis, trapped on this near side. And then they eased up and he was able to dribble down the baseline and attack the rim and draw the foul. right now, both teams playing very aggressively. Again, the Knights, like you mentioned before, doing a great job at capitalizing on all of their goals that they have so far, making more free throws than Methodist even takes, more offensive rebounds. They're winning the battle 5-2. Rebounds in general, they're winning 14-9. It's, again, this Methodist University team, they're scrappy. They will stick around and they will not let you off easy.
Well, definitely scrappy, and that's showing in the one category where the Knights are not doing as well as they'd like to, based on Coach Wardenberg's 3 points, and that is in the turnover category, where Southern Virginia currently has 6 turnovers. A lot of those, have been due to the pressure that the Methodist Monarchs are applying on defense.
Absolutely, and then they're able to capitalize a couple of times off those turnovers. 4 points, not a huge number, but you consider the 16 points they have so far, it's still a decent percentage of what they have on the board, keeping things close.
25%.
Yeah.
Right? 25%, which is exactly what Coach Wardenberg said. They scored 25% of their points off of turnovers.
Absolutely. So after this, we'll see how the Monarchs, under the direction of head coach Aloysius Henry, in his first season as head coach, responds to the Knights. Monarchs inbounding. Just under 8 minutes remaining in this first half. Some good on-ball pressure there from Baker. Driving it, no good. Rebound by Ibsen. Great defense there from Karchner. Going straight up, make sure he didn't commit a foul. Great pass to Baker on the inside, trying to pass to Karchner. Able to somehow get it back out to Robertson. Karchner wasn't quite suspecting that pass from Baker on the inside.
Not even Koa had a little bobble there. Got it back, got it to Karchner, and went through his hands. So a good offensive possession other than a little sloppy there.
And that jumper made that time by Merchant over the head of Karchner. Ties everything up at 18. Trying to get inside to Karchner. Knocked free by Coe. Eventually taken away by East. Advances up the floor to Merchant. And that pass goes off the hand of Brinson, out of bounds. Another turnover for the Monarchs. Makes turnover number 4.
Number 5, Jeremy Mole.
Got some substitutions for both teams. Number 5, Jeremy Mole. And for the Knights, Kai Olsen, number 21. Here's Kennedy with the ball. Ibsen for 3. That's good. He's got such a clean shot. Hardly ever touches the rim when it goes in. That's his second three-pointer of the game. Ibsen now with 6 points in today's contest. Ties Koa Baker as the leading scorer. East working on Baker. Trying to pass it inside that time to Mole, and it was knocked out of bounds at the last second.
Good help defense there by the Knights.
I believe maybe a combination of Olsen and Ibsen. Good inbound to Coe. Mid-range jumper up and good, just inside the three-point line. It's now a 1-point game in favor of Southern Virginia. Great quick pass to Baker on the inside. Gets it back out to Kennedy. Ibsen for 3 again. That time is good. And now is the sole leading scorer for both teams with 9 points to his name, all 3 of them coming from behind the three-point line. The one thing I've noticed about Ibsen is that he came in here being a solid three-point shooter, but I feel like his release has gotten quicker.
Definitely. The last 2 that he's made, the ball wasn't sitting in his hands for very long at all.
And that time taken away by Ibsen. Olsen in the paint. And blocked emphatically by Clayton Coe as Olsen was trying to get the defender up with the pump fake. Fantastic defensive play from Coe. Mid-range jumper from East. No good, rebounded by Kennedy. Passing inside to Ibsen, somehow finds its way into the hands of Olsen. Knocks it down inside the paint.
Timeout, Knights.
Makes a 6-point game in favor of Southern Virginia. And Conley will check in for Southern Virginia. And Hickland will check in for the Monarchs. So again, a series of good offensive possessions, some fantastic shots from Dane Ibsen. That time, the Knights sloppily finding a way to get it to Kai Olsen for the 2. But again, right now, you're having a good, solid couple minutes here, Southern Virginia.
Yeah, it's been a very good couple minutes. You know, when that happens, you know, that's Kai hustling down the floor.
Yes.
Right? So, you know, the Knights are making some hustle plays. You know, we talked about the help defense that both Connolly and Olsen gave to Koa Baker down here. So they're playing very well. They're communicating, and this is the time to extend that lead. They're going into the half.
Absolutely got to take advantage of the little time remaining in this first half. But with this quick break, we want to give our athletic partners a special thanks. Our athletic partners today are Straws, Drinks, and Eats here in Buena Vista, Virginia. Want a good soda, want good treats, want good times, go to Straws, Drinks, and Eats. Thanks so much for your support of Southern Virginia athletics. Ball now with the Monarchs of Methodist. Easily breaking the full court pressure of the Knights. Dribbling in, kick out for 3. That one is good. Knocked down by Jeremy Mold, the sophomore from High Point, North Carolina. Brings it back within 3. The three-point line has not necessarily been the friend of Methodist University so far this year, around 28% from behind the arc. That time, making it work. Travel called on Kennedy as he's trying to step through.
Checking in for the Knights, Brian Tapia for the Monarchs.
And Tapia will check in for Kennedy. And another substitution for Methodist as well. Number 23, Deshaun Key, the junior from Kinston, North Carolina.
Media timeout.
Another media timeout here with just under 4 minutes remaining in this first half. So again, you see the resilience of the Monarchs in this game. You know, the Knights go on a little bit of a run, get a couple of good shots to fall their way, and the Monarchs come right back, bring things back within a couple of points. And the name of the season so far for the Monarchs has been finish it. Finish games, finish halves, and get it to the point where you come back from a deficit. Now you got to overcome that barrier of taking the lead or taking the victory in a game. And that's a difficult thing to learn. That's one thing that a lot of coaches say that sometimes people don't understand is learning how to win.
Absolutely. And it starts. You got to get that first win, then you got to get the second win.
Right.
You know, and like you said, you know, that three-pointer was big for them because they don't shoot well from the three-point line. But the Knights had opened up their largest lead of the game, 6 points, and then they get a timely three-pointer to cut that lead in half again. Just as we were just talking during the break about the Knights wanting to try to extend that lead going into halftime, and then, you know, Mull from Methodist, you know, knocks down that corner 3 to cut the lead in half.
Absolutely, and you know, talking about Methodist struggles this year of finishing really reminds me of this Knights team just a couple of seasons ago where they had a lot of young players and had a difficult time closing out close games. They're in a very similar situation. They play teams very tough and very competitive, but a lot of times we're not able to finish out those games. And we've seen the growth of that since Coach Warrenberg, you know, has taken over and has built up the team, built up more of a culture with the program. So you can expect to see similar things, hopefully, for Methodist University as the years continue.
Absolutely. You got to like the way they're playing. You know, under a first-year coach, you know, obviously a lot of buy-in from the players with the way they're playing with tough defense.
Driving the lane, knocked away by Olsen and recovered by Connolly. Knights want to take advantage of their numbers, and a travel called on Connolly, trying to make a jump stop and make a pass. Just took an extra step. And again, unfortunate, they had the extra man advantage as the Monarch defender was all the way down here after that shot attempt. double screen here at the top of the key. Kick out top of the key. Offensive foul be called that time on Clayton Coe as he extended his arm, knocking Baker to the ground.
Easy call there for the official.
And again, it's one of those things where you're trying to create space for yourself, but you have a good solid defender like Coe Baker and they stick to you, like glue. You kind of have to be a little physical and sometimes draw a foul. So it goes back to the Knights. Less than 3 minutes remaining in this half. And that is Coe's second foul of the game. 16th foul for the Monarchs. Baker driving in, working against 3 defenders. It's stripped away, recovered by Hicklin. And blocked against the backboard again, but they're going to call another foul here. Hicklin will be shooting 2. That foul called on Ibsen. Both Ibsen and Connolly flying in there for the block. Looked like it might be another backboard block for Southern Virginia as Olsen had one earlier in the half. It's a little bit too much body contact. It's the first free throw here from Hicklin. That one's up and good. As he first made free throw for the Monarchs in this game. It's a tough play too because you have 2 players with great height and great length with Ibsen and Connolly. And you both are trying to go out and get the blocks. You both can physically do it. And it's hard to rein yourself back when you're in position to do it. Second free throw, no good. Rebound by Olsen.
The foul is probably the result of both of them going rather than if just one of them had gone, the other backed off. Either one of them, both of them got their hand on the ball.
Right. Baker working, getting a tough shot off as his arms got tangled with TJ East. And so he'll go to the free throw line and shoot 2. That is East's first foul of the game.
I would imagine thus far Coach Henry's happy with the effort of his Monarch team. This is the type of game that they want to be in, lower scoring, physical, good defense.
Oh, absolutely.
To be within 2 points here at the end of the half right now as we close out. I'd say Coach Henry's probably pretty happy with the effort that his team's made so far.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a situation you have been in before if you're Coach Henry and the Monarchs, right? You've kept things close in a half, and so at this point, hey, we're close. Now we just got to do the things we've been trying to work on and finish these games. That second free throw rolls out, rebounded by Connolly. It's the Knights getting an extra possession. Baker working on 2 defenders. Defenders reaching in, trying to take it away and committing a foul instead. That is called on number 12, Braun Brinson. Got a substitution for the Monarchs, number 32, Blake Lewis. He will come in for Clayton Coe.
Blake Lewis.
Baker shooting his 3rd free throw of the game. And it is no good. So far, Baker has 7 points and 8 rebounds, once again knocking on the door of a double-double. Which I feel like that should just be a sound clip that we have on hand ready to play, just simply because he does it so consistently. Jumper from East, off the back of the rim, rebounded by Kennedy. Olsen to the paint, driving in. I'm going to call a charge on him. Falling to the ground, taking the charge is Hicklin. You've seen a good adjustment here from the Monarchs as well. Earlier in the half, the Knights doing a great job driving to the rim, trying to draw the foul, but now the Monarchs are seeing that and deciding to set their feet, take the charge, and cause some foul issues for Southern Virginia. Some great passing here from the Monarchs. Nearly traveling there that time was Brinson. Driving the lane, getting up the tough shot, no good, rebounded by Karchner. Now under a minute remaining in the half. Here's Kennedy driving the lane. Trying to get in the paint to Baker. Karchner falling to the floor, trying to reach for it. Just out of reach. .47 seconds remaining. And again, like you said, Colby, the Monarchs are in great position right now, down by 3. Opportunity to possibly tie it up or bring it within 1 going into halftime. You couldn't ask for a better situation if you're Methodist University.
Well, they got a 2-for-1 if they want it. Doesn't look like they're going to take advantage of it, though, here at the end of the half.
Here's the deep 3. That time no good. Rebounded by Baker. No shot clock. Ibsen driving in. Tough shot, no good. Rebounded by Baker. Coach Warrenberg wanting a timeout.
For your information, at halftime, the SVU women lead.
Coach Warrenberg, both Adam and John wanting just 1 shot. So they wanted to hold the ball and get the best quality look possible at the last second, and then go into half, maintain the lead, or at the very least advancing their lead by at least 2 or 3. And so at this point, again, the Monarchs doing a better job in the paint defensively, taking charges. So you have a risk of having a charge called on you. But again, you also have Ibsen on the floor, who's knocked down 3 3-pointers already. Very consistent so far in today's game. You also have Kennedy, who's very capable. And so are you going for a 3 if you're Coach Warrenberg, or are you just trying to get something in the paint? What is your strategy here, Colby?
Yeah, looking over here, I thought maybe we'd see Brian Tapia go in. Add another 3-point shooter there here and drop a play here with 15 seconds left. But you got Ibsen in there. Connolly capable of knocking down a 3-pointer. So I'd say we're going to see if we can get Dane open for a 3-pointer here.
And he's open in the paint, up strong with the right hand, up and in. Wasn't a 3-pointer, but it was to Dane Ibsen.
Never mind getting that last shot right. Maybe a little surprise factor there.
I mean, you got to take the openings when they come. Great body control once again by Hicklin, flying through the air with the layup. Brings it back within 3 to end this first half. The score standing 29-26 in favor of Southern Virginia. So again, we got ourselves a very hard-fought physical game so far. A lot of great play on both sides, and defense. That's the thing I'm impressed with the most. Defenses for both sides are playing phenomenal right now.
A lot of defense, a lot of hard play. You got Koa Baker with 10 rebounds there in that first half to go along with the 7 points. Dane Ibsen leading scorers with 11. And then if we go over and look, turnover-wise, you've got Southern Virginia, 13 turnovers. So already exceeded that less than 10. And Methodist was 6. And then just a key on that last key rebounds, offensive rebounds, 7 for the night. So they're just under halfway there of that 15 offensive board goal.
And you just know that going into halftime, Coach Warrenberg is going to look at the turnover statistic and say, look, we didn't match up to our goal, but they had less than half of our turnovers. We cannot have that happen in the second half. And if Methodist University, you're looking at the same stat and saying, hey, we took care of the ball. Let's keep that going in this half and then make it to where we can take the lead and take this game home.
Absolutely, that'd be the key that we'd want to see the Southern Virginia Knights take care of, better in the second half as a turnover, take care of the ball.
Absolutely. And with that, we'll take a short break and we'll return for the second half action here between the Monarchs and the Knights. We'll be right back.
All right, Knight fans, you already know what time it is. It's time for these two lovely contestants to try to win a free drink to Straw's Drink City. So let's meet our contestants for today.
Mar.
All right, we have JC and Mar. So today's contest is pretty simple. You will have 45 seconds to make a layup, a free throw, and a three-pointer. Do you guys think you can do it? All right, so go ahead and head down there. We'll give you a shot time. All right, JC and Mar, are you guys ready? On your marks. Let's put it for 45. Here we go. On your marks. Get set. Go. 20 seconds left. Hold on to 3 points. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'd like to thank Straw's Drink Cities for being a proud sponsor of Night Athletics.
For those of you looking for more night apparel, please go check out the apparel team over by the main entrance.
start of second half action between the Monarchs of Methodist University and your Southern Virginia University Knights. I'm joined by Colby Kemp, my good friend here. And this first half, I see the score standing 29-26 in favor of the Knights. It was a very scrappy first half, very defensive, and at some points sloppy, but regardless, no lack of effort on either side in that first half.
I know both teams playing hard, going at it. You mentioned a little sloppy. The Knights, 13 turnovers in that first half. I'm sure that's one thing that they went over at halftime. Going to have to take better care of the ball in the second half. We also mentioned, Dane Ibsen, 11 points in that first half. Good thing Dane come out with some good shooting there. Otherwise, that first half probably would have been a little bit of a different story.
And that locker room may have been a less pleasant place to be
Absolutely.
at halftime. As, like you mentioned, great three-point shooting from Dane Ibsen, making 3 out of 4 3-pointers in that first half. Again, leading both teams in scoring. Again, him being a big difference maker so far. And stepping on the floor to start this second half is the same group of players that started with Koa Baker, Demarcus Robertson, Sean Kennedy, Gabe Connolly, and Malachi Olson. Still waiting to see who will be taking the floor to start the second half for the Monarchs as time of halftime winds down. And you mentioned the turnovers again. Coach Wardenberg before the game told us they had a goal of less than 10 turnovers in this game. They exceeded that in that first half. Just some sloppy plays. And again, we mentioned it before how in that first half, especially early on, the Knights would pick up the dribble very far outside of the three-point line, make it very easy for them to be trapped defensively. And the Knights will start with the ball and on the court for the Monarchs. Guy number 3, TJ East. Guy number 40, Clayton Coe, who played a pivotal role in that first half. Also got number 10, Montel Moore, as that shot up and in for Olsen. Starting the second half off right. Also got Blake Lewis, number 32, on the floor, and number 12, Rowan Brinson for the Monarchs.
And that's a matchup there, I think, that if the Knights can get Lewis onto Olsen, Olsen can really take advantage of that.
Try to create those physical mismatches. Go passing it to Lewis. Here's a three-pointer up and good. One of the rare three-pointers for the Monarchs, that time by Montel Moore, who in that first half got into some foul trouble. He has 3 fouls to his name, so we didn't see a whole lot of him in the last couple of minutes of that first half. Moore now with 5 points in the game. Try to pass inside to Olsen, able to save it from going out of bounds. Shot clock winding down. Connolly open for 3. That's up, no good. He's struggled from behind the arc in the past couple of games, not really able to establish a shooting rhythm. And taken away that time by Baker. Kennedy for 3 in the fast break. Up and good. Kennedy making his first three-pointer of the game. He is now 1 for 4.
Hopefully that'll be a sign of things to come from Sean. Really struggled that first half, 0 for 5, and really struggled to find some space to work his offense.
In the corner is Brinson working against Connolly. Shot clock winding down. The 3 is up and good. That time for Lewis. Lewis now with 5 points in the game. That's his first three-pointer, so both teams coming out at halftime with an emphasis on the three-point line. Olsen in the paint, fadeaway jumper, up short, no good, rebounded by East. 2-point game here. Lewis able to cover that mishandled pass by Coe. A push off, here's the jump shot, up no good, rebound by Robertson. Baker slow to get up after that play. And we'll see Ibsen check in. Robertson coming in the paint, off the back of the rim, no good, rebounded by Baker, goes up strong with the left hand, up and in. Baker now is 1 point away from a double-double with 9 points and 10 rebounds. 7 of those being defensive rebounds. That floater no good from Coe. That time a foul called on East, who's trying to reach over, working defensively against Olsen. Very similar to a play we saw in the first half with Broen Brinson, who in that play had wrapped his arm around Olsen, but there was no foul called there. Some substitutions for the Knights in Dane Ibsen and Brian Tapia. Ibsen gets the pass. They want to set up a three. Ibsen working in the paint, kicks it out to Connolly for three. That time no good. Olsen gets the rebound. Tapia for three. Off the side of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Coe. So a couple solid looks for the Knights. Looks you like to see your players take those shots.
Definitely open looks there. Kai Olsen picking up another offensive rebound for the Knights. So they're doing very well in that category so far.
Shot clock winding down, 5 seconds. Here's Coe for three. And that's good. As Coe's first made three, he's now 1 for 2 from behind the three-point line. Now it's back within 1 point. Again, it's the same pattern we saw in the first half. The Knights are going a little bit of a run. The Monarchs would battle back. Monarchs keying in on Ibsen. Shot clock winding down. Connolly working. Here's the three from the corner for Kennedy. That's good. Right after the timeout called by Wardenberg.
Good patience there by the Knights, that offensive possession.
Absolutely.
Working the ball around, finally working the clock down with 2 seconds left on the clock. Kennedy was wide open for his second three of the second half.
And that just shows, again, you mentioned the patience, right? When the shot clock is winding down, it's very easy to get flustered, try to throw some crazy shot up, but no, they kept on trying to find the best look possible. I mean, Connolly could have easily tried to post up, do some sort of post move that maybe would have been a lower percentage look, but instead passed it out to the outside, and they eventually got it to Kennedy from the corner three, who was starting to heat up from behind the arc in this half.
Yeah, like you mentioned, credit to Dane Ibsen because he was posted up down there in the paint. He got the entry pass. Looked like he thought about it, but then he kicked it back out. 2 more passes. Ended up with Sean Kennedy's hands for the wide open.
And Kennedy now second, or third actually, in scoring for the Knights with 8 points to his name. He's now made 2 3-pointers, both being made in this half. He's very close behind Koa Baker with 9 points, and of course Ibsen still on top with 11. And scoring-wise for the Monarchs, you have 3 players with 5 points apiece. Moore, you also have Lewis, and then Hicklin with 5, and leading the way is Clayton Coe with 7 points to his name. So again, you see all the players that have scored for the Monarchs. They're really spreading the ball around, getting a lot of contribution from a lot of different players. That's something you love to see if you're head coach Henry Ford.
And that's kind of the game anyway. They don't have anybody averaging over 12 points a game.
Right.
You know, that's TJ East, I believe, at just under 12 points a game. So a very balanced attack typically for Methodist.
So after that timeout, the Knights just scored that 3-pointer from Kennedy. Ball goes back to Methodist. They find themselves back down by 4. It feels like the entire game they've been around that same margin, either down by 6, down by 2, sometimes down by 1, but stayed within that range. Here's East working the post. Up the left hand, no good. Rebounded by East. And taken away by both Connolly and Ibsen. Pass to Robertson. Olsen working at the post. Spin to left side, fadeaway jumper off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Coe. Ibsen falling to the floor, trying to box somebody out. And up with a wild shot and drawing the foul is Montel Moore.
Foul number 21.
He was trying to drive it towards Malachi Olsen, who picks up his 3rd foul of the game.
Timeout on the floor.
Yeah, it looked a little bit maybe like a bailout call there. A little out of control, and Kai Olsen just happened to be there. A little bit of contact to pick up the foul.
a little bit more. It seemed like his feet were kind of leaving from underneath them, trying to throw something up. And, that's a smart play. When you have contact,
absolutely.
And you feel like it's kind of going out of control, rather than risk a turnover, throw up a shot, see if you can get the foul call.
Yeah, I think he definitely stumbled, was definitely going to hit the floor. And like I said, he just threw it up, and the refs awarded him with a foul. And I didn't see that. Are they going to give him 2 free throws on that?
I believe they called it a shooting foul, yes, so it'd be 2 free throws for Moore. And with a short break really fast, I want to take a moment to thank our athletic partners, Straws Drinks and Eats here in Buena Vista, Virginia. I recommend them all the time on these broadcasts. You should know that by now. Drink of choice for me when I go to Straws is a Dr. Pepper with cherry, vanilla, lime, and a little bit of almond cream. Because that's one thing they do there is add cream, and it's just fantastic. So if you're in the Buena Vista, Virginia area, whether you're visiting your child or your friend or your brother or sister here on campus, be sure to go stop by there. It's a great place. And thank you, Straws, for your partnership with Southern Virginia Athletics. So Montel Moore will go to the free throw line after that wild shot attempt. Doing a good job of drawing the foul call. Because now Malachi Olson is in some foul trouble. Now you can't really rely on him as much for offensive production. And so coming in, we have now on the floor for Southern Virginia, Kennedy, Ibsen, Baker, Robertson, and Connolly. First free throw for Moore is up and good. That is a second made free throw for Methodist University. The Knights still doing a good job of making more free throws than Methodist has taken.
I'm sure Coach Wardenberg would like to see that gap expand a little bit.
He absolutely would. And Kennedy breaking the pressure here. Conley driving the lane, going up strong with the right hand, up and in, over top of Coe. Great control from Kennedy, who had 2 defenders on him. He was losing his balance, able to look down the floor and see Connolly up ahead. One-on-one. Trying to split the defenders, knocked away by Baker, rebounded by Ibsen. That is knocked out of bounds that time by Rowan Princeton. Got a substitution for the Monarchs at number 11, Darian Hicklin. Ibsen, we talk about him being the leading scorer for Southern Virginia with 11 points. He's also contributed with 3 rebounds as well. 2 defensive, 1 offensive, and also checking in for the Knights is Brian Tapia.
A couple words there from Braun Brinson to Cole Baker there after that play, and Brinson's going to be replaced on the floor.
A little bit of chippiness happening here, as you can come to expect from a conference game. Conference games mean everything in these middle of the season, trying to build up your status in the conference. Shot clock winding down. Connolly for 3. That knocks it down. That's nice to see, as he's really struggled from 3, knocking it down that time. Especially as like a young player and a shooter, a lot of your identity is, are you making your shots, and able to knock it down that time, that really boosts you up.
Connolly takes several 3-pointers a game. Percentage isn't yet up over 30%, but he usually knocks 1 or 2 down.
Absolutely, and that foul called on Ibsen as his arms got tangled with the arms of Clayton Coe, who will go to the free throw line. Some substitutions for the Knights, including number 3, Jamarcus Robertson, and 55, Tyler Karchner. Coe's first free throw is up and in. So far in the second half, Methodist University doing a lot better job at getting to the free throw line. Both Karchner and Robertson will come in for Sean Kennedy and Dane Ibsen. Second free throw is up and good. Robertson breaking the pressure. And here's Connolly, that time no good. Knights trying to claim that Moore stepped out of bounds on that rebound. Conley feeling a little bit of heat after that first three-pointer he made in the game, trying to make sure they can keep that going, kind of force the shot.
A quick heat check.
Yeah, exactly. And Karchner that time called for a block. That is his second foul. Got a substitution here for the Monarchs, number 23, Deshaun Key. One thing we've seen in the second half so far is that the Monarchs have kind of slowed down their offense a little bit. It was a lot quicker passes in that first half. Lewis, the jumper, off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by East, the jumper from him, no good. Excuse me, that was actually number 11, Hicklin, who missed that jumper.
Strong rebound there by Karchner.
Conley pass inside to Karchner, able to body it up, create some separation and get the shot in. Really did a great job of using his body to create space between the defender and the ball. Timeout here by the Monarchs as the Knights have a 7-point lead with 11.5 minutes left in this second half. I love the big man to big man passing action happening there in that last possession for Southern Virginia. Conley making a spin move, looking like he's going to kick it out to the three-point line. Instead, a little side bounce pass to Karchner, who spins, uses his body as a sort of shield, goes up strong with the shot, knocking it down for two.
And you would expect that play to be there quite often. There's really nobody on the Monarchs team that has the size to compete with Tyler Karchner down low.
You're absolutely right. I mean, standing at 6'8", got some solid build to him. I mean, not a lot of people except for maybe, Clayton Coe have the body to really measure up to that. Karchner gets his first basket of the game. He's got 3 rebounds to his name as well.
Clayton Coe, he goes 6'3", 190, and Tyler Karchner, he goes, we don't have the weights listed, but he's a few cheeseburgers over 190 for sure.
Again, a good size advantage there for Southern Virginia. You might expect them to capitalize on that a little bit more. Now, as they do that, you can imagine, as we've seen many other teams do in the past against Southern Virginia, when the ball gets down to the post, either Olsen or Karchner, you can expect an outside defensive guard to crash down. And so, again, the Knights have really been working on when that happens. Quickly look for the open man on the perimeter because, again, you've been knocking down threes in this game. Kennedy's knocked down some threes. Ibsen's knocked down some threes. Conley's made one as well. So you got to really have a quick eye to see who is open on the outside because someone's bound to be.
And the great thing that Tyler did there was he moved quickly. He got the ball, he pivoted, and put the ball up over his left shoulder off the glass.
He absolutely did, as now the Monarchs have the ball. Great defensive pressure that time from the Knights. And somehow no travel called on Deshaun Key. As he's clearly off balance. Ball makes its way to Connolly, who goes in strong, gets the foul. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
Monarchs foul number 3.
Coaches for Southern Virginia arguing for a travel call against Deshaun Key. And I think a lot of people here in the arena would agree. Conley's first free throw rattles in and good. Knights now 6 for 10 from the free throw line. Second one is up and in. Knights now with a 7-point lead. Now, in order to really break the trend of this game, the Knights need to get a stop here and get another bucket, make it close to a double-digit deficit. Because as long as you let them have a single-digit deficit, you're keeping them around for potential to have a surge late in the game and take control. East stepping through, strong shot up and in with the left hand.
And even though their three-point shooting percentage isn't great on the season, they've proven here in this game that they're capable of knocking a few of those down.
And the lead the Knights have had for most of this game is just 2 3-pointers away from being overthrown. A kick that time from Blake Lewis as Conley was trying to get it into the paint to Baker.
Yeah, I'd say most of this game has been played within a 2-possession lead, one way or the other, mostly for SVU.
And Tapia checks in for Robertson as Knights inbound it. Getting it back inside to Baker. He's being trapped on the baseline. Baker driving baseline. Gonna call a block. That is going to be on number 10, Montel Moore. That's his 4th. He had done a really great job of being careful so far in this half after picking up 3 in the first.
Coach Hardy looks down the bench and sends Ron Brinson to check in, likely for Montel Moore.
They call offensive push on Tyler Karchner on the rebound. Robertson checks back in for Tapia. You've seen sort of a trend so far in today's game where on a lot of offensive possessions, Tapia will be substituted in for Jamarcus Robertson, and right afterwards, J-Mac will be put back in to play some defense. Really trying to play the personnel game here today.
The Knights have struggled a little bit trying to get Tapia open for some of his looks.
Here's the 3. Up, no good. Rebounded by Kennedy. Kennedy now with 3 rebounds in the game. Trying to get it inside to Karchner, and it's taken away by Key.
Good. Stay down. Defense.
It's the outside. Here's the 3, no good. Rebounded by Baker. That one missed by Moore. A foul called here on number 12, Rowan Brinson. Baker falls into the bench. Got some substitutions on both sides here for the Monarchs. Number 30, that is Jared Merchant. And for the Knights, you got number 32, Dane Ibsen, and number 21, Kai Olsen.
Malachi Olsen and Dane Ibsen for the Knights.
So again, we're still in that range of a 5-point lead for Southern Virginia. Again, just not able to break away from that trend so far.
Yeah, it's going to get a little chippy here. There, that was Braun Brinson again knocking Koa Baker to the ground. So, you know, Methodist, they're showing they're not going to go away.
Now is Brinson's 2nd foul. Robertson going in strong, rebounded by Olsen, up and in. Nice putback score for Olsen. Olsen now up to 7 points in today's game. And they call travel that time on Braun Brinson. Moved his foot just so slightly before making a move. Knights looking to pass and move away. Very quick moving offense. Baker in the paint. Spin move. Gets it to Olsen, up strong with the foul. Go to the free throw line and shoot 2. Surprised that Baker didn't go up with a shot as his defender fell to the floor.
Looked like somebody stepped in there and tried to help. It was a little block there, but still good pass to Kai Olsen there on the interior.
First free throw for Olsen is good. Olsen now 2 for 3 from the free throw line. Got a substitution for the Monarchs, number 32, Blake Lewis. second free throw is up. Off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Ibsen. He's gotten some strong rebounds today. Pass to Olsen. Trying to make a move inside. Up strong against two defenders. No good. Recovered by Baker. Kicks the corner. Pass in the air. Trying to get the open man. Robinson goes up and in. I guess there's a foul on the floor. Robinson, though, making a fantastic move toward the rim. It's going to be a block on number 23, Deshaun Key, but a fantastic move from Robertson. And again, we're seeing just great patience from this Knights offense right now. Great ball movement. Even you saw in the corner, Ibsen got the pass a little bit high, but still on the air. He looks for the open man at the top of the key, trying to establish an offensive rhythm. Just really great, clean offensive basketball we're seeing right now, and also giving yourself second chance opportunities.
Absolutely. There's no, that's why, the Knights have been able to get out now to their game-high 8-point lead. But one thing, we notice here is the Methodist isn't going away. They're getting more and more physical. They're going to force the referees to either make calls or they're going to play as hard as they can and knock the Knights off of their marks.
Absolutely. And a lot of times when you're playing basketball, those are some of the teams that you struggle the most against mentally because they just won't go away. You keep pounding away, but they just won't leave. And that's one thing you can absolutely credit to this Methodist University team for is the fact that, again, we mentioned at the beginning of the game how they played William Peace, the #1 team in the conference, to double overtime. In the last game they played against them, also to 6 points. Never really going away, even though, according to the win-loss record, it shouldn't really be a problem. But again, like we said, they're much better than their record shows.
Oh, definitely. They've come out, they've played strong, put a good game together, had a good game plan. Montel Moore, he's got the 4 fouls, but he's been a strong factor, especially on the interior, defending Kai Olsen, Koa Baker, Tyler Karchner at times.
Absolutely, and he has 7 points to his name as well. Knights inbounding to Olsen. Olsen able to recover before it falls out of bounds. Here's Ibsen for 3. That's clean and good. Another 3 for Dane Ibsen. Puts him at 14 points in the game. There were several Knights players on the bench who turned away from the court, had their hands up, knowing that it was going in. Complete trust in Ibsen's shot.
Yeah, his shot has looked good tonight. Puts the Knights out to their first double-digit lead on the night.
That's exactly what we were talking about earlier they needed to get to, was get that double-digit lead, and just like that, taken away by Jared Merchant with a jump shot. Brings it back within single digits. A reach in here. As called number 32, Blake Lewis.
His second.
Lewis in this game has 5 points so far, that being his second foul. Some substitutions for the Monarchs, including Montel Moore, number 12, Bron Brinson, as well as number 3, TJ East. Free throws up, and good. Able to knock down the beginning of the 1-and-1. Olsen's now 3 for 5 from the free throw line. That one short, brought down by Brinson. So Olsen still sitting at 50% from the free throw line. Call foul on the floor. That's going to be on Koa Baker.
Number 1, Koa Baker. His second.
So the ball stays with the Monarchs. Lewis will inbound it. Here's a 3 from the outside. That one good by East. So again, the Knights build up a lead, gets whittled back by Methodist. The pattern still holds.
Yep, they're going to have to execute till the end of the game.
Up strong, able to roll it in. Kennedy now gets into double digits in scoring. And it's good to see him get in double digits in scoring. Again, we mentioned the struggles he's had in the past couple of games scoring-wise. That jumper from East, no good. Kennedy getting his 4th rebound as well. Baker dribbling baseline, up, reverse, left hand and in. And with that, Baker officially has a double-double with 11 points and 13 rebounds. But of course for Baker, that's just another day at the office.
It's just another hard day's work for him.
The jumper that time, no good. Finally recovered by Baker. Kennedy going up strong with the right hand with the foul. Foul's called on Blake Lewis.
You know, speaking of Koa Baker, that's his 3rd assist on the game. They also go along with 3 steals. So we just talked about how Koa Baker continues to fill up the stat sheet.
He really does, just all over the place. Again, it's one of the reasons why this coaching staff and this team love him so much, is because of the well-rounded player that he is. And Kennedy able to finish that shot strong. Lewis picks up his 3rd foul of the game. Free throws up and good. Kennedy now to 13 points, just 1 point behind Dane Ibsen. There are 3 Knights in double digits in scoring. A takeaway, another steal for Baker. Olsen up with the slam. Knights able to capitalize off the turnover. Timeout by Methodist University. This Knight Arena is electric after that emphatic slam from the junior. Coach Warrenberg trying to rally his troops after the energy that no doubt a slam dunk brings to a game like this.
Absolutely, the steal, the pass, so Koa Baker, another steal, another assist, and Kai Olsen gets the emphatic slam to end the break.
Yeah, absolutely love to see it, as now the Knights continuing to extend their lead, 64-48. Again, you're starting to see that the Knights are just becoming a little bit more comfortable. Again, it's still scrappy, there's still a great defense here from Methodist University, but you're seeing the Knights get more into a rhythm. Their passing has become so efficient. They're seeing the open man. They're passing it to the opposite side, the opposite corner. They're finding people who are in good position to score much better than they did in the first half.
Absolutely, and it's important for them to continue to play this way the last 5 minutes of the game, because they have a hard stretch of the schedule coming up as they battle to get back into the top 4, top half of the conference standings.
Absolutely, and there's whistle blown here. I'm trying to figure exactly what the call was.
A little blood on Sean Kennedy's knee now is what we're seeing.
So we'll no doubt possibly have a substitution for him on the floor as he's getting patched up here. But right now, a 16-point lead for the Knights, the largest lead they have had in this game by a long shot. And once again, looking at the leading scorers for today's game, you have Ibsen with 14, again with the 4 3-pointers. You have Kennedy with 13, he just got to that point. Olsen with 11, Baker with 11. 4 players now in double digits scoring, knocking on the door of 5 with Connolly sitting at 9 points. And then for Methodist, you have, of course, leading the way is Coe with 9 points. That shot no good, rebounded by Olsen. And 3 other players with 7 points apiece, including Hicklin, East with 7, and Moore with 7. Pass enough finds its way in the hands of Robertson. Intended for Olsen in the paint. That's another thing we've seen. The Monarchs doing a great job of getting their hands up on those entry passes. Kennedy up strong with the right hand, no good. Brought down by Ibsen, up and in, another basket for number 32.
We don't get stats for deflections, but Methodist has had a lot tonight. They've really been in the passing lanes all night long.
And we've seen several times in this game, even though they've gotten their hand on it, somehow found its way perfectly into the arms of a Knight. Strong shot up and in from Montel Moore with the and one.
Knight's foul on number 32.
That is Dane Ibsen's third foul of the game.
Media timeout.
And another media timeout here with just over 3.5 minutes remaining in this USA South Conference match. With a short break, I want to once again thank our athletic partner, Straws Drinks and Eats here in Buena Vista, Virginia. Straws, thank you so much for your partnership with Southern Virginia University Athletics.
If we go back, Dawson, and look at the three keys to tonight, so far, the Knights, 10 made free throws, Methodist with 7 attempts. So that was the first one. Make more free throws than Methodist shoots. The next one was offensive rebounds, a goal of 15. Right now the Knights are sitting at 13. And then maybe most importantly, especially with them being able to extend their lead in the second half, is turnovers. They were over 10 in the first half with 13, but only 1 turnover here in the second half so far.
It's amazing what happens. I'm sure coaches say this all the time. Amazing what happens when you don't turn the ball over, when you're careful with the ball and you make accurate passes. And that's exactly what we've seen in the second half. You mentioned the fact that they'd already not accomplished their goal, but to only have 1 turnover so far in this half, of course, knock on wood, that's a phenomenal change. That's a phenomenal adjustment to make at halftime. You be more careful. And again, I'm going to comment again the passing of Southern Virginia in this second half. It's been a totally different ball game offensively.
Yep. And just the other half of that game point was points off turnovers. Methodist 5 points for the game so far. So there was a point in time where they were at 4 of their 16 points, and now they're up to 50 points. So 10% of their points have come off turnovers thus far in the game. So the Knights have executed their game plan and to no surprise, have a 16-point lead right now.
And that 16-point lead stays after the missed free throw, as that was knocked out of bounds on the rebound by Deshaun Key. And again, it's the standard of a quality team is a team that even if you struggle in the first half, you make adjustments, you change things up, you make sure that you have high quality play in the second half, and don't let what happened in the first half define you.
Timeout, Knights.
Timeout for Southern Virginia as they're really struggling to get out of that full court press. Methodist University doing a fantastic job creating pressure on the near sideline. It's a 30-second timeout here in the arena.
Just like you have to be willing to make adjustments in game, you have to be able to make adjustments in season. We mentioned Knights kind of have gone through a rough stretch here the last 10 days or so. They find themselves in the bottom half of the conference, but playing like this, finishing out this game, hopefully they can gain some momentum for the final games in conference and move up into a second, third, or fourth spot.
Absolutely. You mentioned the rough patch. It's been 3 out of the past 5 games have been losses, and most of them by single digits. Close games that plays just don't quite go their way. They're not able to make some shots that they usually do. But again, a game like this where you have a scrappy team like Methodist University and you're able to make adjustments, change some things, and play as you are capable of playing, that just shows you what you can do. That foul called on number 11, Darian Hicklin, as Kennedy was trying to advance down the floor. A lot of body contact. In that sense, Kennedy to the line shooting 1-and-1. And a substitution for the Knights. Abe Conley checking in for Dane Ibsen, who, as we pointed out before, is the leading scorer for both teams, now up to a total of 16. First free throw on the 1-and-1 is good. Ibsen with 5 rebounds to his name as well. 1 steal. And shooting 80% from the three-point line, 4 for 5. It's kind of like we were talking about, Colby, how the Knights had struggled from the three-point line the past couple of games. It's not like you need to shoot 20 or 30 three-pointers. Just take higher quality shots, make like, 4 out of 5 or 3 out of 5, something like that, just to give you enough lift.
Yeah, to have a shooter go 4 for 5 from three-point range, that's certainly going to open up the key, where your big man can work a little bit more freely.
They're going to call a foul on Kennedy on the rebound as he extended his arm to try to create separation. Falling to the floor as a result of that foul is number 23, Deshaun Key, as Kennedy picks up his first foul.
You know, so like we talked about, you know, 3-pointers, the Knights are 8 for 17 on the game. That's pretty effective right there.
Absolutely, and Dane Ibsen checking back in for Connolly.
Especially when you have one guy go 4 for 5.
That definitely helps your percentage quite a bit. And again, it feels like all 4 of those made 3-pointers from Dane Ibsen never touched the rim in any way, shape, or form. Just a perfect swoosh.
Yeah, I don't think any of the 4 touched. And not only that, they were at key times in the game where it was close. Methodist was trying to get a lead or whatever, and Dane knocked them down at big times, each of the 4 that he made.
Deshaun Key makes that first free throw. Second free throw is on the way and is good. Key now with his first 2 points of the game. Ron Brinson checking back in for the Monarchs. So once again, we're seeing some full court pressure from the Monarchs. We've seen them be very successful with that, really creating some frustration and a couple of turnovers. Kennedy doing a great job of keeping it from going back across midcourt. Kennedy up, strong with the right hand, rattles in and good. Kennedy now with 17 points, and now he is the leading scorer for the Knights. He's really come alive in this half.
And that's the type of shot that we saw him hit over and over and over again there in the early stages of the season. So it's good to see him get that shot going again.
And a step-through shot from East, no good. Got some substitutions here for the Knights. Number 55, Tyler Karchner, and number 30, Kenyon Carlson, as well as number 12, Sam Jex. Kennedy going up strong, draws the foul. And as he gets Braun Bronson. That is his 3rd foul of the game. And another substitution as well, number 10, Coy Burge. Getting a full platoon swap here on the floor as the Knights have an 18-point lead with Kennedy going to the line. First free throw for Kennedy. Up and good.
Checking in for the Knights, Tyler Karchner and Kenyon Carlson.
The Knights right now have 6 on the floor, trying to figure out who's subbing in for who. Some miscommunication on the substitutions here for the Knights. Second free throw is good. And Jex will come in for Kennedy. Only one left on the floor after that platoon swap is Dane Ibsen. So a 20-point lead for the Knights, just over 2 minutes remaining. Some bench players going to get some good quality minutes here. Drawing the foul that time was Montel Moore.
Fouls on the Knights, number 10,
Foul on Burge.
Coy
Burge, a freshman from Orem, Utah.
Always good to see some of the young players get on the court, get some experience. Their teammates are all happy for them.
First free throw is good for Moore. Second free throw for Moore is up, off the back of the rim, no good, rebounded by Ibsen. And taken away by the Monarchs, up with the right hand, strong, no good, rebounded and rejected. A lot of scrappiness on the floor right now as Kenyon Carlson goes to the floor trying to maintain possession. It's a jump ball, and he was absolutely swarmed. A little bit some extra contact that you like to see on that one.
Yeah, the refs are going to have to take a look here at Braun Brinson. He's been in the middle of everything here. And he was slapping hands as he was walking away that time there. So last thing you'd want to see here at the end of the game is it get ugly like that.
Karchner able to bring down that rebound. And back to Ibsen. And it's bouncing around, finds its way back into Methodist hands. and blocked by Jex, but they're going to call a foul here.
Knights foul on number 12.
Looked like a clean block from this angle, but again, we're not all the way down there. Knights having a hard time maintaining possession after a solid rebound. You saw one from Ibsen, then one from Karchner. As Moore finds his way to the free throw line once again. First free throw is good. Second free throw up, rattles out, no good. Rebound by Karchner. This time a strong rebound and slapped away. You mentioned Ron Brinson. He's been in the thick of that on several plays.
Monarchs foul number 12, Ron Brinson, his 4th.
That is his 4th foul. And checking in for him is number 11, Darian Hicklin.
At the line shooting 2, Tyler Karchner.
Refs wanting to talk to Brinson. First free throw from Karchner is up and good. Karchner now up to 3 points in this game.
This match, please stick around for the men's volleyball game against Lancaster Bible at 5 o'clock.
And as the PA announcer announced here, we will have a men's volleyball match against Lancaster Bible College here at 7 p.m. in the barn. Also presented to you by Knights Broadcasting. Both Colby and myself will be joining you for that game as well. Should be a fantastic time after the fantastic win that the Knights men's volleyball team had last night against Penn State Altoona.
Basket's good.
Yeah, they set a record for least points allowed in a 3-game match last night against Penn State Altoona.
The Knights working against the full court press after the basket from the Monarchs. Finally get to see a full offensive possession. Ibsen for 3. Off the back of the rim, no good. Put back by Karchner. Battling for position, putting his hand up, tapping it back in, now under a minute remaining. That mid-range jumper, no good. Brought down by East. I believe they may call a foul here on Karchner. Indeed, it will be on Karchner.
Foul number 55, Tyler Karchner.
That is his 4th foul of the game, and that sends TJ East to the line.
At the line shooting 2, TJ East.
East's first free throw is good. East now to 8 points in today's game. He is 3rd in scoring, just behind Coe, Hicklin, as well as Moore. Coe and Hicklin are tied at 9 points apiece, with Moore at 11. East's second free throw is good. Karchner on the inside, knocked away. I believe that was number 11, Darian Hicklin, coming at the last second, taking away the dunk from Karchner. Three-pointer no good, rebounded by Karchner that time. Foul now on Montel Moore, and he fouls out of the game. It really is impressive how much he's been able to stay in the game after picking up his first 3 fouls in that first half. Finally now picking up his 5th with just under 26 seconds remaining.
Yeah, he picked his 4th up with just about 10 minutes left in this half, I believe, and be able to stay in the game for the most part. Fouls out with just under 26 seconds left.
And subbing in his place is number 33, Connor Raines, with Karchner to the free throw line. First one is good. Karchner now 3 for 3 from the line. Second free throw up and good. Give him 8 points. So 4 players from the Knights in double digits, and nearly 2 others. Kick out to the corner. Ends up out of bounds. Going to be Knights ball. Coach Wardenberg saying no shot here in the final seconds. Just let the clock run out. With just 14 seconds remaining. Looks like that's exactly what they will do. as the Knights, again, as they've struggled the past couple of weeks to win some ball games, they win this one emphatically by 20, despite Methodist University doing a great job at sticking around the whole game through, being scrappy, playing solid defense. The Knights pull away in the second half and get a much-needed confidence-boosting victory.
And an impressive win to be able to pull away and win by 20 points, you know, after a hard-fought first half. You know, so give the Monarchs credit, but ultimately, you know, Southern Virginia, they played a great game. You know, congratulations on a great game to Dane Ibsen, that 16 points, along with 7 rebounds. And Koa Baker, we mentioned, you know, 11 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals. Let's lighten it up pretty much. Just throwing up the stat sheet. Look for him in your fantasy basketball league.
Any basketball player would love to look at their stat sheet at the end of a game and see those numbers like Koa Baker had today, as well as Ibsen and also Kennedy. I mean, the entire Knights team really stepped up today to really bring this emphatic win to their home fans, winning by a score of 78-58. The Knights' next game is on January 28th. That is a Saturday at North Carolina Wesleyan in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Another conference game, a chance to really build upon the confidence and the momentum built up in this one. And like we mentioned earlier, just a couple minutes ago, men's volleyball here in the arena in just a couple of hours. It'll be a fantastic game, second game of the season for this Knights team. Dawson Weeder, myself, as well as my friend Colby Camp will be joining you once again for that. Stick around. We'll be back in just a couple hours for men's volleyball here in the arena.